Brian, in one of their many uniforms, white pants tonight with the blue jerseys and white numbers front and back. The flags of all the 10 states of the 10 participating teams are out on the field on the mound. They are introducing the teams. We'll have the national anthem, and we'll be ready to go here shortly. Let's take you back to last year. Again, Oklahoma City was in the position that Cumberland was. Lewis Clark State came through with a win, and then they got ready, and they went for the next night, and Coach Ed Sheff of Lewis Clark State said, I don't think we have the momentum. Momentum is what you create yourself each game, and so obviously Denny Craybaugh subscribes to the same theory. He would love to win tonight, but he's one to tell you it doesn't really give them momentum for tomorrow night if they do.
Well, and if you're a fan of momentum, both these teams have it right now. Cumberland has not lost any momentum coming in. The only time they stumbled was against Bellevue in their opener on Saturday. They had to get 8 runs in the 7th inning to come back and win that game 9-7. They have not scored less than that in any game since. They have played very well. Oklahoma City, after that loss to Cumberland, they seem to have their swagger back, and they have some momentum coming in. If you're a fan of that, you subscribe to that, then both these teams come in here playing very well right now into this, what could be the national championship game tonight.
It's a beautiful night, 83 degrees, no wind right now, and let's go down onto the field, and Lisa Horan will sing the national anthem. Lisa Horan with our national anthem tonight as the Cumberland Bulldogs head back into the third base dugout, Oklahoma City to the first base dugout. And let's go over the starting lineups tonight. Again, Cumberland, the visiting team, they will go first against E.J. Shanks, and they line up like this. Mike Minkle, the center fielder, leads off. Philip Cudrado, the third baseman, hits second. Batting third is the DH, Charlie McFarland. Donnie Burkhalter, the first baseman, hits fourth. Hitting fifth is Chris Torres, the catcher. Batting sixth is Craig Moreland, the left fielder. Caleb Barrett, the right fielder, hits seventh. Victor Alvarez hits eighth. He's the shortstop. And Derek Depew bats ninth. He's the second baseman. On the mound for Cumberland again will be Eddie Ortega. For Oklahoma City University, Scott Balster will lead off. He's the center fielder. Denver Kitch, the shortstop, hits second. Ted Ledbetter hits third. He's the right fielder. Tony Sanguinetti is the catcher. He hits fourth. Arnie Gomez hits fifth. He's the first baseman. Cameron Clark hits sixth, the second baseman. Aaron Williams is in left field tonight, batting seventh. Dave Morlett is at third base, hitting eighth. And Ryan Walker is the designated hitter, batting ninth. Again, E.J. Shanks on the hill for the Stars. The umpires tonight, Mike Paquette is at home plate. Dan Ignacy is at first. Ted Miller is at second. John Sweet is at third. Rick Jaggers is down the left field line. And down the right field line is Perry Ramacone. So that sets the stage, Brian. 83 degrees as we come to you on Talk Radio 950, KOZE Lewiston, and on the internet, KOZE-sports.com. We come to you from the left field line tonight, down the third base line behind, past the dugout of the Cumberland Bulldogs, as our friends from Oklahoma City and our friends from Cumberland are in their spots in the press box. We're glad to be outside in the elements. It's a gorgeous evening to be out here, and it's really probably not going to cool down too much once the sun goes down.
Well, we did have some looked like thunderheads that were building up in the west. They have moved to the south now, and I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. There was a chance that might move our way, but it looks like it's skirted us to the south and kind of heading up the Snake River, so we should be in good shape. And a beautiful night for baseball, and a pretty good crowd that has filed in here, at least from what we can see at this point, and we're hoping that we can eclipse the crowd that we had last night. A great crowd, and again, this community, the areas of Lewiston, Friday night, a lot of folks would have Saturday off, and I would expect that if Oklahoma City wins, we would have an even bigger crowd tomorrow night. But as it stands tonight, a lot of folks here to see this one, and two good teams, Mike, Cumberland Oak Field, coming into this game.
We'll take a look at some of these attendance figures from the last games of the day, or games when Lewis Clark State didn't play. On Saturday night, 2,580 to watch Oklahoma City and William Penn. On Sunday afternoon, a single loser-out game with Concordia and Bellevue, 1,535. And then on the 1st of June, which was Tuesday night, 1,825 to see Cumberland and Point Loma. And last night, 2,260 to see Cumberland and Embry-Riddle. So we are hoping for a good crowd. Again, we're stationed down the third base line. You're looking down the first base side, a lot of people there. The first base grandstand is mainly filled with Oklahoma City folks. That is almost full. The main grandstand filling up, and of course the third base side has some Cumberland folks. So it's going to be a good crowd. I'll be interested to see the the final numbers when they come in throughout the game. First pitch, 7:04 local time, 83 degrees in Lewiston, Idaho, as E.J. Shanks gets ready to face the right-handed hitting Mike Minkle. And here comes the first pitch of what could be the championship game, and it's a strike. And how about the defense for the Stars?
Well, Oklahoma City looks like this tonight. Arnie Gomez at first base, Cameron Clark at second, Denver Kent at short, Dave Marlette at third base.
And the delivery is a little bit high. 1-1 on the right-handed hitting Minkle.
Aaron Williams in left field, Scott Foster at center, Ted Ledbetter in right, and Tony Sanguinetti behind the plate to catch E.J. Shanks.
Ready again is Shanks, and that one goes all the way to the backstop in the air. So E.J. uncorking something that was not in the vicinity of where he needed it to be, and it's now 2-1. Again, no wind right now, and a gorgeous evening, very different from last year when it rained all day before the final game between Lewis Clark State and Oklahoma City. They finally got it in with no trouble, but it was a dreary day up until the championship pitch started. There's a dry foul on the right side and out of play, and it's 2-2. Coaching at third base for Cumberland is Randy Stiegel, and Ryan Hunt, son of head coach Woody Hunt, coaches at first. The 2-2 is hit up the first base side, foul, and gloving it there, Arnie Gomez actually popped out of his glove, but a foul ball, and it remains 2-2.
Well, Mike, the Stars have E.J. Shanks on the mound. This is a pitcher for Oklahoma City, Mike, that has probably logged as many hits for several years now.
Ready again is the delivery by Shanks, and it's blowing away, and we're full. Right off the bat, 3-2 on the right-handed hitting Mike Minkle.
This game could very well boil down to which starting pitcher is more effective, Mike. We know both teams can hit it very well.
Bouncing ball out in front. Shanks is going to glove it on a couple of hops, and he throws out Mike Minkle for the first out here of the ball game. And the hitter will be Philip Cudrado. Cudrado hitting .471 in this tournament. He is 8 for 17. Cudrado is a senior, Poinciana, Florida, and he stands in from the left side against the right-hander Shanks. Even with the bag at third is Dave Marlette, and he'll cheat in a little bit as E.J. Shanks gets ready to deliver the first pitch to the third baseman for Cumberland, Philip Cudrado. And now here it comes. It's on the way, and Cudrado takes it for a strike at the knees. 0-1. Shanks, as Brian said, had a outing of 6 innings in the opener, got the win. 5 hits, did not give up any runs, and he struck out 7 without walking anybody. Here's the delivery, a slow curve that's a little bit low, 1-1. And as Brian said in the pregame, they then went to Preston Sims, and there came William Penn. As the pitch is fouled back, it's 1-2. William Penn made some noise in that game, which was on Saturday, which was Oklahoma City's opener of the tournament. It was the second game for William Penn. That was after they had defeated Concordia 2-1. And Oklahoma City ended up winning it 9-4. The pitch to Cudrado was high, 2-2. It was 6-0 when Shanks left. And in the 8th inning, William Penn cut it to 6-4.
Yeah, but when Shanks came out of the game, Mike, it looked like he may have hurt his shoulder to a certain extent.
It just hit high and foul off the left side and out of play, and you're right, that's why he came out of the game. They went to Sims, and he really was largely ineffective in the game. And then they brought in Joey McLaughlin. And again, the Stars won the game 9-4. That ball is hit on the ground to the second baseman, Clark, and he throws him out. So 2 ground ball outs for Shanks here in the first, and the hitter will be Charlie McFarland. Just underway in what could be the national championship game. If Cumberland wins, the tournament will be over. They would finish 59-21, and Oklahoma City would finish 73-7. But of course, the Stars looking for that 75th win. If they can get to 75, they'll be the national champions. There's a looper down the right field line, foul, and no chance for Gomez. It pops out of play, and it's 0-1. McFarland comes in to this tournament hitting 6 for 16. He has 6 runs driven in. And the 0-1 is a little bit low. 1 and 1. People continue to file into Harris Field here. Here's the delivery, and that one is hit in the air deep to center field. Back on the ball goes Balster, home run! Charlie McFarland with the home run, his first of the tournament, his 7th run batted in, and for McFarland, his 23rd home run of the year. It's 1-0 Cumberland.
Well, just a line shot, dead away center field, Mike, and he got a hold of it. Looked like it was a fastball, and he was sitting on it, and he deposits that one over the center field wall, and Cumberland leads here 1-0.
So McFarland had some trouble with his neck, has had some trouble throughout the week, went to a local chiropractor, and obviously whatever he did it well, because Charlie McFarland has given Cumberland a 1-0 lead. And now here is Donnie Burkhalter, and he hits that ball down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble, and it is a fair ball. McFarland around first, going to try for second. Ledbetter up with the ball. The throw in is not in time as McFarland lumbers into second base, and he slides in safely with a double. Burkhalter with the double down the right field line, following the home run by McFarland. It's 2 hits in the inning.
Well, Donnie Burkhalter has emerged as a real crowd favorite, Mike. He's a big guy out there. He goes 250, and the crowd loves to watch Donnie Burkhalter hit a stand-up triple the other night at the win over Point Loma. He was a home run away from the cycle in that game.
Well, Donnie Burkhalter hit that ball down the right field line. It got in fair, and by the time Ledbetter went to get it, Donnie was around first and on into second. So Shank's now going to step off and wait as Burkhalter is out there trying to maybe loosen up. He might have hurt his left leg, and we'll see if they bring a trainer out to look at Donnie Burkhalter. Again, he went in standing the other night. This time he did a head-first dive, half slide, and ended up safe, and he's in scoring position, still shaking some of the dust off. And now here is Chris Torres. And the pitch is grounded to the left side. That's going to be to the shortstop Kitch. He's got it, and the throw across is in time, and the Bulldogs are done here in the first. A run on 2 hits, and they leave 1. The home run by McFarland gets Cumberland on the board. 1-0 Cumberland with Oklahoma City coming to bat. And our coverage of the NAIA World Series is sponsored in part by the Clearwater River Casino, just down the road from home.
Now that Cable1.net is up to 3 times faster, folks are using the internet in ways they never imagined.
With triple the speed, I'm able to run my business from home. I can process orders and contact customers without getting bogged down. So I have more time for my family and more time for me.
The extra speed really beefed up our home networking. Now everyone in the family can be online at the same time and still get the most out of our internet.
I like that I can download games even faster. Gives me more time to play them.
Get 3 times the value, 3 times the convenience with Cable1.net. Now up to 3 times faster. Always on, secure, and backed by world-class technical support. Cable1.net is the most reliable internet connection for your home. And prices start at just $35.80 a month. So call 1-877-600-6099 and discover why Cable1.net is preferred 5-to-1 over DSL. That's 1-877-600-6099. Cable1.net.
Watch us make you smile.
Lowest price available with Cable One Digital Bundle. Other restrictions may apply.
Let's take you through the Oklahoma City lineup once again as the Stars line up like this. Scott Balster in center field leads off. Denver Kitch, the shortstop, hits second. Ted Ledbetter is in right field hitting third. Tony Sanquinetti catches, bats fourth. Arnie Gomez, the first baseman, hits fifth. Cameron Clark hits sixth. He is the second baseman. Aaron Williams, the left fielder tonight, hits seventh. Dave Marlette at third base hits eighth, and Ryan Walker hits ninth. He is the DH. Against Eddie Ortega, came into the tournament 12-3 and a 3.05 ERA. 26 walks, 78 strikeouts. And in the tournament, Ortega, 6 innings in his start. 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 were earned. He walked 1, struck out 4, gave up a double and a couple of home runs to Jason Svedlik of Bellevue.
Yeah, he had a rough go of it early on. As Svedlik hit that baseball game, and Cumberland came storming back with 8 runs in the 7th inning. by McFarland in the top half of the inning.
So here's Balster, who is hitting .444. He is 8 for 18. He has 3 home runs in this tournament in the leadoff spot and 7 runs batted in. They're all dangerous. 1 through 9 are these Stars. And here comes the first pitch by Ortega, and it's a little bit high. 1-0.
Well, the Bulldogs defensively tonight, Donnie Burkhalter at first base, Derek DePew at second, Victor Alvarez at short, Philip Cuadrado is at third. We'll give you the outfield after the pitch.
That ball is grounded to the second baseman, and he throws him out. That's DePew, who scoops it up there and gets Balster for the first out here in the first.
In the outfield for the Bulldogs, Craig Moreland in left field, Mike Finkel in center, Caleb Barrett in right. Chris Torres behind the plate, and again, Eddie Ortega, the right-hander on the mound for Cumberland.
Denver Kitch, a .278 average in the tournament, 5 for 18. He too has a home run, one of the 9 home runs for the Stars, as they hit a ton during the regular season, and they really haven't slowed much in this tournament. The only bump in the road against this team, and that's hit well to right field to kind of go foul and down near the bullpen and hops over the head of one of the Stars down there. They do have a left-hander without any uniform on who was warming up. I'm not sure if that's a roster player or not. That ball's popped up high and going back to look as Torres at the screen, and it's going to be back up into the crowd for a souvenir. And it's 0-2.
You mentioned center field wall that carried around there in Denver. Kitch run so well that he turned that extra base hit into a 4-bagger and inside the park home run. The only one hit this year in the World Series.
Kitch, the shortstop, and Ortega taking his time back behind the mound, now back up on top. I tell you, against the Stars, you make every pitch count. You don't waste one, or they make you pay. Sort of the Bulldogs. There's a ground ball, and off the glove of the second baseman, and that is DePew into center field. Well, he was moving toward the bag and tried to backhand that, and got his glove on it and couldn't come up with it, and so the Stars have their first base runner. And let's see how they opt to score that. It's a base hit, and it's the first hit of the game for Oklahoma City. So Kitch is aboard, and now here is Ted Ledbetter. Ledbetter comes in hitting .533, 8 for 15, 3 home runs, and 9 runs batted in. Ledbetter, a right-handed hitter, and here's the first delivery, and that is blasted to left field indeed. Going back on it is Moreland, and it is a home run for Ted Ledbetter. The first pitch he sees from Eddie Ortega, he drives it out of here to left center field, and for Ted Ledbetter, his 20th home run of the year, and his 4th of this tournament. And just like that, Oklahoma City has a 2-1 lead.
Well, and I'd have to go back and look, Mike, but I think Ledbetter has hit all but maybe 1 home run of the home runs he's hit in the World Series in the first inning.
He certainly has gotten the Stars team off to a good start. He did hit a home run against Cumberland in the first inning last time these teams played on Memorial Day, and he's got one here. And now here is Sanguinetti, and it's up high. Ortega working now, and Sanguinetti grounds it to the third baseman, Cuadrado, and the throw across the diamond is in time for the second out of the inning. So Ledbetter puts Oklahoma City ahead with the big home run. And Kitch scores ahead of him, and it's 2-1 OCU.
Well, team should take note that Ted Ledbetter, if it's a fastball on the first pitch, he's swinging, because he hit that home run earlier in the tournament.
He had a 2-run home run against Mount Vernon Nazarene in the first inning, and later added a 3-run homer as the pitch is fouled off by Gomez. That was in the 6th, and so he does have 3 2-run home runs, all in the first inning of this tournament. I asked Coach Craybaugh last night, as he was nice enough to join us on the live broadcast of the Embry-Riddle-Cumberland game, as Gomez takes the pitch for a ball. I asked Coach Craybaugh if anyone had ever walked Ted Ledbetter with the bases empty and nobody out. And he said, strangely enough, they haven't. He doesn't get a lot of intentional walks, probably because of the people behind him, like Sanguinetti and Gomez and Clark and the rest of them. But they maybe should consider it. 2-1 now on Gomez, 2 outs. And 2-1 Oklahoma City. And here's the pitch. And that's a strike, says Mike Paquette. It's 2-2. Ortega has the sign from Chris Torres. We're in the bottom of the first, and both teams have scored. A 2-1 lead for OCU. And the pitch is swung on and missed. He chased a bad one. And that is that in the inning. 2 runs, 2 hits. No errors, and nobody left. We go to the second. It's 2-1 Oklahoma City. You're listening to coverage of the World Series on KOZE, brought to you in part by the Clearwater River Casino, just down the road from home. Well, E.J. Shanks throws 17 pitches in the first inning, 12 for strikes, as the Stars back out on the field to face Moreland, Barrett, and Alvarez. 2-1 Oklahoma City on the strength of a home run by Ted Ledbetter. So, Brian, all of the runs in this game coming on home runs so far.
Well, I don't know if that's a real big surprise, particularly here in the Oklahoma City camp, because they have done that all year long with this year, and they have hit the long ball as well.
Moreland takes the first pitch, a strike from Shanks. 0-1. Moreland hitting .381 in this tournament. And he hits that one foul down the third base line, 1-1. Both of these teams 1-2 in batting average. Cumberland 374, Oklahoma City 342. And quite a drop-off till you get to the 313 of Embry-Riddle. They were shut down last night by Cumberland, and that really dropped pitch. And it's bounced past the pitcher Shanks and scooped up by Kitch. Nice play defensively. He throws him out. 1 out in the second. And the hitter is Caleb Barrett. Glad that you're with us on the internet tonight. KOZE-sports.com. You've been with us all week long, and tomorrow will be a week. We thank AI World Series on KOZE-sports.com. Every game. Caleb Barrett is the leading hitter for Cumberland, .545. He's 6 for 11. He takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. The next delivery from Shanks is high. The difference being Ledbetter's came with the man on, and McFarland's was a solo shot. Here's the pitch, and that's tapped out in front. Down the third base line, Shanks spears it and throws to first and throws wildly. A collision, and are they going to try to send him? They are. Sanguinetti going to run the ball down, and they're going to send him again. Up with the ball is Ledbetter, and if the throw in is not in time, and all the way to third goes Caleb Barrett. If there's one downfall of Ted Ledbetter, Brian, he doesn't have a very good arm.
Well, it's not a strong arm out there in right field, and if it is a little stronger, he might have a chance to get him in third base, but good aggressive scouting there by Cumberland, recognizing that, and Barrett, who runs well, gets all the way around, and that is a big error out there on the board, I would imagine.
Well, we'll see how they score it. Shanks speared that ball, and I thought he had time to throw him out. I think it should be a 3-base error. We'll wait and see what they tell us from the booth, whether it's a hit in an air, and it's an air all the way, a 3-base error on E.J. Shanks. And the pitch is inside to Alvarez. Well, E.J. had time to throw him out. He made a great defensive play, but could not make the accurate throw, and it is indeed an error. And now Cumberland has the tying run just 90 feet away here with 1 out in the second inning, and Alvarez is the hitter, and he swings and misses. 1-1. Alvarez is hitting 4 for 16. He does have a home run, 2 runs batted in, a .250 average. Fouls the next one off. 1-2. Shanks needs to pop up. A strikeout would be nice, and then he would try to deal with Derek Depew, but he's been very good in the 9th spot. He's hitting .538, and Depew is on deck. He's had some big hits in that 9th spot. And first, E.J. is dealing with Alvarez, and here comes the pitch. And it's lined into left field for a base hit, and we're tied at 2. So on a hop, Aaron Williams gathers it in out there. And Victor Alvarez with an RBI because of the error by Shanks. That's how the run gets around, and it's 2-2.
Well, Mike, we talked about it before. The mark of a good team is that if a team scores on you, you respond, and that's exactly what Cumberland has done here in the second, and it's exactly what Oklahoma of the first, a 2-run home run by Ledbetter. So back and forth all night.
Cumberland has responded all tournament long with runs right after their opponents seemingly have tied or taken the lead. And the pitch is a strike to Depew. He was the one we thought was dangerous, but it was Alvarez with the big hit. And the runner goes, and the pitch is hit, and it's a fair ball down up to the right field corner, and that's going to maybe get the run in. Here comes Alvarez. They're going to send him. Ledbetter's throw to the plate is going to be not in time. It's a double for Depew. Alvarez scores all the way from first base, and it's Cumberland 3 and Oklahoma City 2. Mike, Derek Depew might be the best 9-hole hitter in this tournament. He has come up with clutch hit after clutch hit throughout this World Series, and he comes through there again with a double to right field. And a good piece of hitting that time, the pitch on the outer part, and he just drove it to the right side. It was fair, and in comes the go-ahead run, 3-2. Well, we saw Cumberland respond last time, Mike. Embry Riddle had a 5-run fifth inning, took the lead briefly, and then it was Cumberland responding with 9 runs in the bottom half. You know, take a look at Cumberland's line scores as Coach Denny Craybaugh makes the walkout. The game against Bellevue was the only game that they did not respond immediately, and they scored 8 times in the 7th inning to win that game. But then their next outing against Oklahoma City, as Oklahoma City tied it up in the 5th, Cumberland got 3 in the 6th to take the lead. When Point Loma made a little bit of a run, Cumberland made a bunch of point runs, and then when Embry-Riddle scored 5 in the 5th to make a 6-5 Embry-Riddle lead, Cumberland scored 9. So they have rallied back every time, and now the hitter is the leadoff man, Mike Minkle, and he takes a strike. Shanks has been ahead of a lot of hitters, if not all of them, but has not put away enough, and they trail 3-2. Minkle hits that ball, and that is to catch the shortstop, looks the runner back, and he throws out Minkle for the second out here in the 2nd inning, and staying at second base is Depew. Philip Cuadrado will stand in. Cuadrado, a ground ball to Clark at second in his last at-bat. He will stand in. A little breezy now down here at the field level. Feels pretty good. It's a 83-degree evening here in Lewiston. Perfect setting. Good crowd on hand. You look at the grandstand from this vantage point, and there are a lot of people in the crowd tonight. The first base side, not down the line, but the first base grandstand is just about full. So thanks to those of you coming out, and there is room. There's a ball hit down the line, fair into the right field corner. That's going to get another one in. As coming in is Depew. Cuadrado on his way to second. They're going to try to get a triple out of it. Here comes the relay throw. It is not in time. A triple for Philip Cuadrado, and it is Cumberland 4, Oklahoma City 2.
And, Mike, the question now for Denny Craybaugh is how long can you go with E.J. Shanks? He is getting hit hard here in the 2nd inning, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets up real quick now for Oklahoma City to get ready to go. They do have some pitching, and it looks like Mike Blakowski is going to get up now, and he's going to head down the right field line and start getting loose for Oklahoma City, and I think he's going to be joined by Joey McLaughlin.
The only player not available is Joe Vicenius, who had the complete game yesterday. Coach Craybaugh told me that last night. Everybody is available. They wanted to save Joey McLaughlin for tomorrow, but if they don't get through today, there is no tomorrow. Here's McFarland, who homered last time, and Shanks from the windup now. The first pitch is a strike. It's 0-1, and darting down the line is Cuadrado to try to distract E.J. Shanks, but the third baseman, Marlette, not sneaking in there. He comes again down the line, and that ball is hit down the right field line, and that is going to be a fair ball into the corner. That's only a single, but it gets the run in. They're just going with every single pitch from E.J. Shanks into the corner. It is now Cumberland 5 and Oklahoma City 2.
Well, I think if there was a question as to whether or not Cumberland would come in here a little complacent because they know that they can come back tomorrow night, that question's been answered emphatically here in the 2nd inning.
So 5-2 in favor of the Bulldogs, and here's Burkhalter, who doubled down the right field line last time and went hustling into second base. He was stranded there. And the pitch to Donnie is high and away, and that one nearly got away from Tony Sanguinetti. So this Cumberland team afforded a 2-for-1 proposition to beat Oklahoma City, and they'd like to just do it on night number 1. Shanks ready. Here's the pitch to Burkhalter, and that is a strike. And it's 1-1. What a start. Neither team has been put out yet without scoring a run, and the slow curve is outside to Burkhalter, and it's 2-1. Well, a big error started things, but since then there have been a lot of hits, and Burkhalter swings and misses. There was the single by Alvarez, double by Depew, triple by Cuadrado, and single by McFarland. And now 2-2 to Burkhalter. Here comes the Shanks pitch, and it's high. And it's 3-2. Already, Brian, 7 runs and 8 hits in this game, and we're only in the top of the second. Shanks is ready. Runner goes on the 3-2, and he swung at ball 4. He swung at it and missed. And that is that. 8 people come to the plate. 4 runs in the inning on 4 hits, 1 error, and they leave 1. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 5-2 Cumberland. You're listening to coverage of the NAIA World Series on Talk Radio 950, KOZE AM, brought to you in part by the Clearwater River Casino, just down the road from home. Bottom of the second inning. And the lineup for Oklahoma City against Eddie Ortega is Cameron Clark, Aaron Williams, and Dave Marlette. 6, 7, and 8. How will the Stars respond?
Leading off second base,
Well,
number 2.
I know how they're capable of responding, but they will respond to that barrage in the top half of the inning. Remains to be seen, but there is still a ton of baseball left in this game.
Here's the first pitch to Clark, breaking ball, and it's in there for a strike.
One thing we know about Oklahoma City, Mike, at this juncture of the game, they will not panic. They have enough big bats that a 3-run deficit is really not all that insurmountable by any stretch.
Clark takes the 0-1 for a strike, and it's 0-2. Ortega working ahead of Cameron Clark here with Aaron Williams and Dave Marlette to follow. Here comes the 0-2, slow curve, strike 3 called. Same 3 pitches all the time in that at-bat, and it's the second strikeout for Ortega.
Well, he didn't fool around, Mike. He went right after him and threw the breaking ball for a strike, and Cameron Clark must have been looking for something else, perhaps looking for something maybe away, a breaking pitch in the dirt. Didn't get it. It was right at the knees for strike 3.
Aaron Williams had a good night last night after a couple of strikeouts. He ended up with 3 hits. He's 4 for 11 in the tournament, hitting .364, and the first pitch to Aaron is a little bit high. Denny Craybaugh was talking about that last night, how this club had a couple of hitters who struggled early. Williams was one of them, but after 2 strikeouts had 3 base hits. And the 1-0 is high, and it's 2-0. Good crowd on hand tonight, still some room, so come on out and support the NAIA World Series here in Lewiston. Here comes the pitch, and Williams bounces that to the second baseman, Depew. He's got it. He throws him out. Two outs. Dave Marlette will stand in. Marlette has struggled in the tournament with the bat, 3 for 16. He does have 3 runs driven in. He'd like to break out, and tonight would be a good night to do so. And the first pitch is a little bit low, 1-0. 5-2 Cumberland in the bottom of the second inning. And Marlette swings at an off-speed pitch. He's way out in front of that one, and it's 1-1. Can anyone stop anyone? That'll be the question tonight. Here's the delivery by Ortega. Fastball is low, and it's 2-1. If Marlette reaches, Ryan Walker would be next. And here comes the delivery, swing and a miss. Another off-speed pitch that Marlette was way out in front on. And it's 2-2. Ortega strike away from retiring the Stars in order. And the pitch is fouled to the plate. He just got a piece of that one. Did Marlette. And it remains 2-2. Again, the home run by Ledbetter gave OCU a short-lived 2-1 lead. That was in the first. Cumberland came back with 4 in the second. 2-2, swung on and missed. He swung on a pitch in the dirt. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Eddie Ortega. A couple more strikeouts for Eddie. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. We go to the third. Brian is with you for the play-by-play. It is 5-2 Cumberland, and our coverage is brought to you in part by the Clearwater River Casino, just down the road from home.
by Katko and Brian Danner. We go to the third inning. It is 5-2 Cumberland leading Oklahoma City here in game number 18 from the Avista NAIA World Series. For the Bulldogs, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Chris Torres, Craig Moreland, and Caleb Barrett to face the right-hander E.J. Shanks, who has thrown now 42 pitches in this baseball game. He threw 18 in the first inning, and then he's up to 42 now as he threw 24 in the second. The first pitch is wide, and the count is 1-0. Torres, a ground out to short to end the first inning. He is 0 for 1. Cumberland got on the board in the first with a solo run. They plated 4 runs on 4 hits in the second. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and the count even at 1-1 here on Chris Torres, the Bulldog catcher. Torres coming into tonight hitting just 158 in the World Series, 3 hits in 19 at-bats before that ground out. Here's the pitch from Shanks, and it's fouled straight back, and it's 1-2 down to Chris Torres.
Well, they sent 9 to the plate, Brian, 8 to the plate last inning. Torres, the only man who didn't get up there.
He's up there now on the right side. Down in the count here, 1-2. E.J. Shanks in need of a short inning. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball missed outside. It's 2. And 2 to the Cumberland catcher. Again, a good crowd on hand tonight. We're going to have some sun for a little while longer, and it will set. We will have a very comfortable evening. Here's the 2-2, and that's lined into left field for a base hit. And toward the gap, and cutting it off out there is Aaron Williams. It's a leadoff single for Chris Torres, and we'll see if Devin Williams comes out of the dugout. It will be Devin Williams, and he will be the courtesy runner for the catcher, Torres. And our courtesy runner brought to you by Cable1.net. For greater speed and a substantial performance boost online, call Cable1.net, 746-3325. So Devin Williams out there now. Good speed at first base for Cumberland.
Right fielder number 1.
And here comes Craig Moreland.
Correction, number 15, left fielder Craig Moreland.
Moreland grounded out to short his first time up. That led the second inning off. But then behind him, Caleb Barrett reached out in air. Victor Alvarez then singled. Derek Depew doubled. And he bunts it back to the mound. Shanks picks it up. Throw to first is in time. A sacrifice there by Craig Moreland. And a good bunt moves Williams down to second base. And there's 1 gone in the inning, and the hitter will be Caleb Barrett.
We haven't seen that a lot from Cumberland as far as the sacrifices go in this tournament. That's just their second one. I think their other one was last night against Embry-Riddle. This is a team that bangs the ball around, but they're looking to scratch out as many as they can, any way they can.
Well, a 3-run lead right now. They'd like to try and add to it here in the third inning. And Caleb Barrett comes up. Barrett nubbed one back to the mound. E.J. Shanks bounded off toward the left side of the infield. Looked like he was in pretty good shape. It was a nice athletic play, but the throw to first was wide, and it wound up being a 3-base error. And Victor Alvarez followed with an RBI single. And that pitch is fouled straight back, and the count is 0-1. Both of these teams really, I guess the best description is they are free swingers. They will go after pitches. They are very aggressive at the plate. It's 0-1. Sanguinetti has to stand to receive it. The count evens at 1-1. Again in the 80s as the game began, and we should be in for a very comfortable night. And Shanks sets. Here's the 1-1. Inside, and Sanguinetti nearly threw down to second base. We saw him pick a William Penn runner off earlier in this tournament at second base. So Sanguinetti has a good arm and a very accurate arm. He will not hesitate to throw down to second base in the event that the base runner Williams gets off too far. It's 2-1 here on the hitter, Caleb Barrett. Barrett the start in right field tonight for Cumberland. He has started every game in right, up there on the left side. Shanks, the right-hander, set at the chest, and here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's fouled back out of play. It's 2-2 on Caleb Barrett. Victor Alvarez, the shortstop, waits on deck. He would be next. Barring an unconventional double play. Williams out there at second base. Another runner in scoring position for the Bulldogs. As Shanks readies. And here comes the 2-2. And it's hit to right field, and Ledbetter under it. And he makes the catch, a line drive. And Ledbetter having played perfectly out there in right field. And it's the second out of the inning. So 1 on, 2 out. And here's Victor Alvarez, who hit his 6th home run of the year in the win over Point Loma 2 nights ago.
Not tagging on the play. The courtesy runner Williams out there, as that was a line drive, and as you said, Ted Ledbetter had him played perfectly, and it wasn't that deep, so he's going halfway. In the event it drops in, they would have tried to score him.
Well, our vantage point down here along the left field line, anything hit to right field, we look right at the sun. It's hard to find the ball, hard to pick it up, but Ledbetter was in good shape, made the play. Here's the pitch to Alvarez, and he foul tips it back into the glove, and it caroms away from Tony Sanguinetti, and the count is 0-1. Alvarez is 1 for 1, an RBI single last inning, and he also scored a run. Sanguinetti going to walk back out, and he'll talk with E.J. Shanks. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Cumberland. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Oklahoma City. Alvarez down in the count here, 0-1. And Alvarez in the World Series hitting .250 before his base hit and run batted in the second. It's 0-1 as Shanks looks in for the sign from Sanguinetti. Williams a conservative lead at second. And now Shanks sets, and here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Gets away from Sanguinetti, but out in front of the plate, and Williams unable to advance down to third. It's now 0-2 here on Alvarez, and E.J. Shanks now a strike away from keeping the Bulldogs in check here in the third. And E.J. set again, and here comes the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. Sanguinetti, another good stop. Runner goes. Throw to third base is not in time. He got the foot in there ahead of the tag applied by Dave Marlette. I thought the throw was there in time, but apparently the tag not. And here comes Denny Craybaugh. I don't know if he's coming out to... He's coming right to third base. He wants to ask the third base umpire, John Sweet.
It was a wild pitch, Brian. It bounced away from the catcher.
And Denny Craybaugh wants to know exactly why Devin Williams is safe at third base. The throw looked like it was there in time, but apparently the swipe tag was late on the foot. And I'm not sure Coach Craybaugh is going to get the explanation he wants. The count, by the way, is 1-2 on Alvarez as he took it low. And Coach Craybaugh just right in front of us, and he says his piece, and he heads back to the first base dugout where the Stars are making their home tonight. 1-2 here on Alvarez, and now a runner just 90 feet away in the form of Devin Williams. So the wild pitch moves him down to third. And Shanks will abandon the stretch in favor of the full windup here with the runner at third and 2 out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball fouled back out of play. Still 1-2 on Victor Alvarez. Well, both these teams and their hitters will battle. As Alvarez does there, it's still 1-2. Victor up there on the left side. Shanks the righty ready, and here comes the 1-2 again. Breaking ball in the dirt. Sanguinetti, another good stop. Caroms to the right side, but he's after it in a hurry. Shanks covering, and he throws it past Shanks. Williams had designs on home plate, and he does not go. And a good decision not to go there. It's 2-2 on Victor Alvarez, and Mike, it almost looks like the Stars are a little bit shook up.
Well, Coach Craybaugh coming out to argue that call over there because he realizes that Danny base hit now scores the run, and he realizes how this Cumberland team is hitting the ball and doesn't really feel good about getting down any further than 3 right now.
The bullpen right now is silent. Those folks down there ready should they need them. 2-2 pitch. And that's lined into left center field. Back goes Foster. It's going to be over his head and off the wall. Run scores. Alvarez around first base, and he's in there with a stand-up double. So the Bulldogs continue to come up with big 2-out hits. Williams scores easily from third, and the Bulldogs now lead in this game 6-2. Another clutch hit by Victor Alvarez. He has 2 runs batted in now, a single and a double. And here's Derek Depew. Depew, who now is hitting even better than he was. He was hitting .538 coming into his first at bat. He's now 8 for 14, so he's hitting well over 600 now. And here comes Denny Craybaugh out of the first base dugout to have a visit with E.J. Shanks, and he's looking down the right field line, and I'm not sure. I think we're going to have a pitching change. It looks as though, I believe Mike Motkowski is coming down the line, and we're going to have a pitching change. And our pitching change sponsor is Perfection Tire. When it's time for tires, brakes, shocks, or an oil change, count on your Perfection connection. Perfection Tire. Well, back here at Harris Field with Mike Katko, I'm Brian Danner. Cumberland leading here 6-2 over Oklahoma City in game number 18. It could be the championship if Cumberland holds on here tonight. The new pitcher is Mike Motkowski for Oklahoma City, and Mike Motkowski, a big right-hander, 6'6", a junior from Fairfax Station, Virginia. He has an appearance in the World Series. In fact, he took the loss to this Cumberland team on Memorial Day. In the tournament, he is 0 for 1, 0-1 rather, 4.15 ERA. He went 4 1/3, gave up 7 hits and 4 runs, 2 of which were earned. He walked 2, he struck out 5. So E.J. Shanks is done. He throws 58 pitches in this game, and he leaves trailing 6-2. Derek DePue will be the first hitter Lakowski will face, and he runs up to bunt. He pulls it back, and it's taken high for a ball. It's 1-0. Well, I remember Mike Lakowski when he came in relief of Joey McLaughlin on Memorial Day, Monday. He had trouble getting ahead of hitters. He pitched behind virtually the entire time he was out there, and he starts out behind Derek DePue here, 1-0 with a runner at second base in the form of Victor Alvarez. There are 2 out of the inning, and 1 in here for Cumberland, leading now 6-2 over Oklahoma City. DePue up there on the right side. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it's down in the dirt. Gets away from Sanguinetti. That's going to allow the runner to move down. That'll be a wild pitch. Another one in the inning. And again, the Bulldogs have a runner just 90 feet away. It's 2-0 now, and Derek DePue, who was 1 for 1, he delivered an RBI double last inning and later scored 1 of 4 runs in the second for Cumberland. So Mike Latkowski now, a little more pressure down in the count here, 2-0, and a runner at third, and here comes the pitch to DePue, and he lines it on the right side, and Cameron Clark scoops it up, off balance throw is in time. Nice play there by the junior from Australia, and that'll do it for Cumberland here in the third. Mike Latkowski comes in, puts the fire out. A run on a hit in the inning, no errors, and 1 left on base. 2 hits in the inning, 1 left on base. We've played 2.5. It is 6-2 Cumberland. Oklahoma City coming to bat for the home half of the third after a timeout. Our coverage brought to you in part by the Clearwater River Casino, just down the road from home. Well, back here at Harris Field with Mike Gatko, I'm Brian Danner. Good to have you along tonight on Talk Radio 950 KOZE AM and online at KOZE-sports.com. Ryan Walker, Scott Foster, and Denver Kitch, 9-1-2 here for Oklahoma City to face Eddie Ortega, who has now been staked to a 4-run lead as we go to the bottom of the third inning.
A couple things to look at here, Brian. He was in the dugout for a while there while his club had a long at-bat, and also he has retired 5 in a row since that home run by Ledbetter.
And the right-hander sets in the pitch is a breaking ball that's in the dirt all the way to the backstop. It's 1-0 here to Ryan Walker. So it will be interesting to see how Eddie Ortega comes out here in the third inning, facing Oklahoma City after a long top half. Here's the 1-0. And he checked his swing and takes it a little high. It's 2-0 here to Ryan Walker. Walker, the designated hitter tonight for Oklahoma City. And up there on the right side, top of the order, Scott Foster will be next. He had a great game yesterday, and 5 hits. He was 5 for 6, including 2 home runs. He was a triple away from the cycle. There's a strike, and the count is 2-1 to Ryan Walker. Walker has seen time behind the plate in this World Series for Oklahoma City. Here's the 2-1, the breaking ball, and it's grounded to the shortstop. A big hop there for Alvarez to throw to first in time. 6 in a row retired now by Eddie Ortega. And we go to the top of the order, Scott Foster for Oklahoma City. Foster has had a good series. Again, he's hitting .444 coming in. 3 home runs. He and, well, now Ted Ledbetter with 4 home runs, so he's hit 3. The Stars have hit 10 homers in this World Series so far this year. Foster, 0 for 1 tonight, ground out to second base his first time up. A speedy left-handed bat, good power for Oklahoma City. The pitch is high from Ortega, and the count is 1-0. 29 pitches now for Eddie Ortega as he's ready. Here's the 1-0, and that's a little low. And it's followed behind here 2-0 on Scott Foster. Cumberland looking for their 59th win of the year, and if they get it, they will become the national champions. Oklahoma City looking for 74, and they would need 75 to take home the championship to Oklahoma City. Pitches high, and the count is 3-0 here to Scott Foster. Well, it doesn't get any easier behind Foster. You've got Denver Kitch and then Ted Ledbetter. If they get that far, here's the 3-0, and that's way high, ball 4. So 4 bad ones allow Foster to reach. And Denver Kitch will come up with a runner at first base. First walk issue tonight by Eddie Ortega.
Well, they don't want to see Eddie Ortega put anyone on like that. They obviously want to make the Stars earn every base here, especially in a 6-2 Cumberland lead, because you know what happens, and in a couple of batters, it's Ted Ledbetter, and he makes the game close in a hurry.
Denver Kitch singled his first time up. He was aboard when Ted Ledbetter delivered that 2-run home run to straightaway center field, his 20th home run of the year. So Kitch up there now on the right side, the transfer from Oklahoma. And he stands in, and Ortega will work from the stretch with a speedy Volster at first base. He sets, here's the pitch. Breaking ball, ground ball left side. Backhanded stuff by Alvarez. He can't pick it up, though. And it will be an infield single, I'm sure, for Denver Kitch. Tough play there. Alvarez, though, does not allow the runner to move around second base. It is a base hit. So Denver Kitch is 2 for 2 with an infield single here. And now the ever-dangerous Ted Ledbetter is up with 2 on here. He has already homered his 20th home run of the year, a 2-run bomb in the first inning. And Ledbetter, who came into today's game hitting .533, that average continues to climb. He hit over 600 last year in the World Series, and now head coach Woody Hunt will come out of the Cumberland third base dugout, and he will talk with Eddie Ortega, and I'm sure Mike is reminding him this is the guy that hit the home run last time off you, not that Eddie's forgotten that.
Yeah, I think a situation where I know they have some good hitters coming up, Sanguinetti, Gomez, Clark, et cetera, but it might be a situation where they pitch around Ledbetter even with first and second and 1 out because they don't want to get beaten with a 3-run home run here.
And now the home plate umpire, Mike Paquette, will head out. And he breaks the meeting up. Coach Woody Hunt will head back to the third base dugout. Woody Hunt, 23 years he has been the skipper for Cumberland. And he is so close to winning his first national championship. His team is ahead here 6-2, but it is very early in the game. We're in the bottom of the third inning, and here's Ted Ledbetter now up there on the right side. 1 out, 2 on, and what Eddie Ortega would like here is a ground ball, and perhaps a double play gets him out. Ortega leaning over for the sign from his catcher, Chris Torres, and now he comes set. A look back at second base, and here's the pitch. And it's delivered low to Ted Ledbetter, and the count is 1-0. Well, Ledbetter hit the first pitch he saw from Ortega in the first inning. It was a fastball that he promptly took out of here to center field. That time they started with a breaking pitch, and now Ortega said, here's the 1-0. And another bender, and that's in there for a strike called, and the count is 1-1. Again, a good crowd on hand tonight. Even out in the left field bleachers, there are a few folks that have made their way there. Still some seats, though, if you want to come out. There's still time. Here's the 1-1. And that is strike 2 called at the knees. And Ortega's ahead of Ledbetter here, 1-2. Ted Ledbetter, the starting right field for Oklahoma City, as he has started, I would assume, almost every game this year in that spot. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, ground ball to third. Cuadrado to second for 1. Back to first, and it's a double play. And the inning is over, and Eddie Ortega works his way out of it. The Stars go quietly here to third, thanks to the twin killing. No runs on 1 base hit. There were no errors, and they leave 1 out of the bases. We played 3 innings in 6-2 Cumberland. We go to the 4th. Bulldogs coming to bat after a timeout. Our coverage of the Avista NAIA World Series is brought to you in part by the Clearwater River Casino.